I'm possible on the Cooper-Hudson show. Empowered, motivated, get it out and create it. Cause you're possible, I'm possible on the Cooper-Hudson show. You saw, you fly, so I'm gonna tell you why. You're possible, I'm possible on the Cooper-Hudson show. Empowered, motivated, get it out and create it. Cause you're possible, I'm possible on the Cooper-Hudson show.
Hello, hello, hello to all of my GAWs listening to season 1 of I'm Possible, the Martha Cooper-Hudson show. This podcast was designed and created to equip, inspire, motivate, and empower high-achieving, career-driven, entrepreneurial-minded, grown-ass women. I am your host, Martha Cooper-Hudson, and I am so honored to have with me in the studios today a resilient powerhouse of a woman. She hails from the city of Savannah, Georgia. She is a wife and author, the host of Get Noticed podcast, and the CEO and editor of Resilient Magazine. She is truly a woman on a mission, changing the world one issue at a time. Please help me welcome to the studios my soror, my friend, Miss Teia Acker. Teia, come on in and say hello to all of the GAWs who are listening to this show on today. Welcome to the show, Teia.
Hello, everybody. Oh, I love it. Big energy to the GAWs. Hello, Sir Martha. How you doing?
I am amazing. You know what? One of my friends always, when I ask him or his wife, how are they doing? His response is always better than amazing. And so
wow.
I'm better than amazing on this day. Why is that? Because I have you in the studios today.
Oh, I appreciate that. You just made me think about one of my best friends. Every time I ask him how he's doing, he says fabulous. Even when I know he's not fabulous,
that's right.
He says fabulous. And so, yeah, I resonate with that. That's what's up.
That's right. Because you know, the word said, speak that thing as if it was. Mm-hmm. Even if you're not feeling that way, it's okay to manifest fabulous and being better than amazing into your space, even when things are not that way at that moment, but it will be. Yes. So, you know, I am truly excited, and I want to just get into the show, you know, because this is a long time coming. And it is a long time coming. And so I am really excited about today. You know, as I think back, Teia, our paths crossed. Wow, it's been probably about 10 years ago.
Absolutely.
When I was in the industry of network marketing, and I resided in Beaufort, South Carolina. Yes. You know, as an old spiritual, old gospel song says, as I look back over my life, and I think things over, man, 10 years has made a difference. And I am looking at what those 10 years has done in your life. And I'm enjoying every moment of your success. You know, so yes. You know, I believe in making sure that all amazing women not only get their flowers while they are alive, but to know that Martha Cooper-Hudson truly supports every amazing, high-achieving, career-driven, entrepreneurial-minded GAW on this planet.
Yes.
So listen, I want to go back to where it all started. You know, so often, Teia, people see the glory, right?
Mm-hmm.
But they have no clue of your story and what it took to get to this point to where you are right now in your amazing career. So I want you to take us back to the moment you decided to start your first business venture, Ebony and Ivory Professional Services?
Yes.
And what are some of the initial challenges you faced in establishing your business? And at that moment in time, as a new entrepreneur, still working, but as a new entrepreneur at that time, what were some of your fears?
Oh, wow. So we're going to take it back.
Yeah, we're going to go way back.
10 years, because Ebony and
Yes.
Ivory turned 10 years last July. We're coming up on 11 years. So you talk about relationship.
Wow.
We have that. But I started as a result of going through what I call my pandemic. You know, everybody's talking about 2020, but I was in a pandemic in 2013, 2014. 2014, I went through a divorce. I lost my job. I lost my father. It was just rippling effects. Like things were happening one month after another. And so with that, Ebony and Ivory started as a result of needing to feed my children. I've been in corporate America for 20 years. I would say 20 years because I'm counting this year, but so I'm back and forth with it, contracting. But nonetheless, at that time, I've been in corporate America 10 years. And it was all that I knew because I'm fresh out of college and I've done the plan of my parents. I've done what I thought was the right thing to do. And so here I am in a company and I just made them $1 million last quarter. And then I'm having a slow quarter and I'm laid off. And I'm like, well, oh my God, it was different before when I was laid off because I had a husband to depend on. But this particular time I'm laid off and I have a 5-year-old and a 3-year-old who are looking at me saying, you know, we're hungry. What is the TV going to do? You know, life, you know, typical toddlers.
Yes.
And I make a decision. And I started writing resumes for people. I was getting people jobs that I couldn't even get myself with a master's degree and 2 bachelor's degrees. So I was frustrated. And I said, you know what? Obviously, God is pushing me to this field of entrepreneurship because it's fearful. And I'm the type of person, I'm not really scared of anything, but it scared me to death because I did not know what it would look like. And all the way now, you know, 10 years later, you have your strong months and then you have your months where you're like, hey, y'all don't love me anymore. Y'all don't support me anymore. But nevertheless, I did that. The challenge was having a support system. You know, I read in the Bible where it says a prophet is not praised in his own town. And surely I thought that meant that prophet. Okay. I did not know that meant me. But that was the hard part for me because anytime my phone rings and someone needs something, I was doing it. I was giving people money that I didn't have. I was donating to causes that had nothing to do with me. I was supporting small businesses and I made it my mission. And then here I am starting my own business and I can't even get someone to just make a donation, forget a service, just make a donation or just support me by sharing what I have going on. And so that frustrated me. So I will say a challenge to entrepreneurship is the support. The second thing is when you get in relationships, because, you know, I wasn't designed to be by myself. Let's just set that record straight. I just was not created. You know, when God had the 2x2 going on the boat with Noah, I was with somebody too, you know? So I experimented with relationships after getting a divorce. And I will say 1 out of 2 was really pro entrepreneurship. He was driven. He gave me ideas that propel me to the next level. The other one, not so much. And so for an upcoming entrepreneur, I would say you have to have a significant other that is pro what you're doing. You know, I thank God for my amazing husband now, soon to be of 6 years, because he's my cameraman. He is the photographer. He is the flyer pass outer. He is the security. He understands that you're not only tied to an individual, you're tied to their dreams. You're tied to what they do. So that second challenge would be just having the right person in your space to ensure that you're staying focused on your goal and you're not deviating from that just because you want next level relationship or whatnot. And then my third thing would just be capital. You know, I had a lot of money going into my first marriage, and I exhausted it in things. I was comfortable, so I wanted all the purses, the shoes, the hats, the trips, the cars, the furniture, you name it. And I didn't realize that once a divorce came, that if you have to split those things or you have to give up those things. And so my working capital was not structured to start my business. So I did have to remain in corporate America for a while. And there's nothing wrong with that. Let me just stop there. There is nothing wrong with having a 9 to 5. And I'm quoting one of my mentors.
You better say it.
Martha Cooper-Hudson told me about 6 years ago. There is nothing wrong with having a 9 to 5. There's everything wrong with only having a 9 to 5 and not catering to your business 5 to 9 and doing it for your last name. That's what she told me. That's what I wrote down.
That's what I said. That's what a grown ass woman said.
Correct. Yes. So you building it for all these people, you better build it for your own last name. Right. And that stuck with me because even though I was still on my 9 to 5 to ensure protection and security for my children, I was also, after I was building for myself, I was taking, after I paid my bills and paid myself, I paid and poured into my businesses so that when I got ready to walk off that 9 to 5, I had enough capital resources in my business to secure myself and my children. So that's how it started. That's how it is. And here we are.
Listen, you said a whole mouthful. You know, I could take off running right now because I mean, that is my story. I stand by it every single day. And see, what I heard from you was that you got made a decision. You made a decision that when your back was against the wall, because see, so often, you know, uncomfortability is the thing that show us what we're made of. Comfortability has never created anyone, but uncomfortability has created every successful business owner on this planet. And I feel you when you talk about support and having support and the right people in your space and place. But I had to resort to understanding that where God is taking you, everyone cannot handle the aptitude in which he's taking you. So therefore, we got to be okay with allowing people to get off on the floor in which they need to get off on and allowing others who is going to take us to the next level get on that elevator. But so often people try to keep all of those people who were not assigned to, who was not appointed to them, but who just connected themselves with them because they saw the greatness in them and they wanted to catch a ride. You know, someone said, and I heard it, and I don't know who it was because I would give them credit. They said, you know, you need to be careful about who you have in your boat rowing because some people are not rowing, they're poking holes in your boat and trying to allow it to sink. And so I love that out of a mother's love and desperation, that a dream was birthed. It reminds me of when I went into the industry of network marketing. You know, so often, again, people see the glory, but they don't understand the story. You know, they didn't understand the journey that I was going through and the reasons why I went so hard. Failure was not an option because I had a 1-year-old and a 3-year-old, and I had a husband that was diagnosed with stage 3A colorectal cancer. So failure was not an option. Yes, I would cry, I would scream, I would yell, but I would take my moment like a GAW would, and I would pick myself up and get it going again because we had a mortgage. We had children that had no idea of what was going on behind the scenes. And as a mother and as a wife, I was not about to allow allow them to suffer and to go through those very things. No. And Tia, I thank you, because that so often we see, I like to call it, the social media. And
Right.
people make you think that they have never failed.
Right.
They have only succeeded.
Yes.
Lying. Because
Right.
we know that as entrepreneurs, you're going to have some good days and you're going to have some bad days. And so when we start to think about failure, so often people look at failure as a bad thing,
Right.
and usually they try to hide those very things from the world. Social media, as I said, is full of lies. So,
Yes.
and I like to say that on social media, people are telling a vision that is most of the time not true.
Right.
So, as a GAW, have you ever felt like a failure? And, or have you ever failed at success, parenting, marriage, or in life? And if so, what were some of the lessons learned? And what would you share with women who may have faced failure in their lives today?
Well, I would say this, all of the above. I mean, I gotta take my glasses off. I do not have the blueprint for being a parent. I do not have the blueprint for being a wife, obviously. I do not have the blueprint for being a best friend or anything. I am really, as my pastor says, I'm doing the best I can with what I have to work with.
That's right.
And what I mean by that is I give all three of those areas or all four of those areas grace, but I also give them transparency.
Mm-hmm.
I have a conversation with my daughter all the time, and I was like, I did not have a modeled of mother-daughter relationship, what that looks like. I saw it through my friends because their mothers were very close to us, especially in college, but I didn't have that with my mom. My mom was in the military, and then after she got out of the military, she was sick. So I spent a lot of my youth years from 11 to 18 being an adult. Making sure that my younger brother had what he needed to have to be successful. So now that I'm raising a son and a daughter, I am essentially growing up with them. They know that I'm still mama, but there's a lot of things that I'm learning, like, you want a hug? I didn't grow up with a hug every corner of the house or every 5 minutes. Oh, let me sincerely say I love you, genuinely mean it without feeling like it's cliche. I want you to understand that this is not what people just say when they messed up or when it's time to go to bed. They genuinely have to feel that. For me, with friendships, I didn't have any sisters. So the lack thereof of sisters and the lack thereof of a relationship with my mom put me in a position where every woman that I met, I befriended, and I was supportive to. There isn't a person walking this earth, even my enemy can't say that I didn't support her.
That's
she
right.
She can say I stopped. That's what she can say, but she can't say I never did. I'm guilty of that because I'm a benefit of the doubt person. And I realize in my later life that I do not get me back from people, and I'm okay with that, but I'm always going to give you me. I'm going to show you what my version of friendship looks like, what my version of spouse looks like, what my version of relationship looks like. I'm going to show you that. And then once I feel like the reciprocity is bending too far on the scale, then I know how to exit. I'm guilty of failing because I know when time is up.
Yes.
I know when time was up with a job. I know when time was up with a person. I know when time is up in a city, a place, but I'm guilty because I am probably the most loyal person on the planet. And I had to learn that you can be loyalty to a fault, but you can't be loyal until you fall. And I a lot of my failures are not a result of Teia. It's not a result of a Teia decision. A lot of the failures that I face, whether it be with finances, friendships, jobs, careers, children, are as a result of letting someone else lead and guide me in a direction that I knew I shouldn't have been in. And I'm not going to be cliche with this, but I grew up in church. My grandma, she died when she was 90. So you know what every Sunday looked like. So I knew better, but my habits formed as a result of being loyal to what I saw versus what I know. I know that certain friendships are not kinships. That's just what they are. I know that a lot of times people utilize you for what you can do, not for who you are. And once you stop doing what you can do or what you did, then they no longer need you in that space.
That's right.
I know that. But my loyalty says, well, I want to be her friend. Well, I want to be in this organization. Well, I want to live in this town. Well, I want to be in this space. And because of that, the failure came. And I'm not afraid to show that. My husband had to understand that me talking about being divorced and me talking about failed relationships is not a stab to him in this current. It is a simple fact to a woman who feels like, well, I have children. I've been married. No one's going to want to marry me. I'm never going to get married again. Who's going to help me raise? I show them that I had a 3-year-old and a 5-year-old. I showed them that I didn't have the perfect body. I didn't have the perfect finances. I didn't live in the best neighborhood. None of that stuff. But yet I rise again. So I showed them that because I need them to understand. I talk about corporate America because even having a master's degree, sometimes I was the only Black in my space. And wow, people say, oh my God, you made it to the table. You don't know how hard it is to sit at the table. You don't know how hard it is to stay at the table. You don't know how hard it is just to wake up every day and ask God, why did you make me Black? Why did you make me Black and put me in this space? Why did you make me Black and put me in this space? And you know I can't react like a Black girl would in this space. So I do that because I feel like transparency is key. It's not telling your business because I would never tell all of my business to anybody. But
because everybody don't deserve to know that business.
Correct. But what you will never do is beat me at telling my business.
Hello.
So I'm not going to give you the satisfaction of saying, oh, she on husband number 2. Yes, I am. Yes, I am. My last name was this. And now it's
this.
And I'm going to embrace that so that you can't hold that hostage for me. When I was growing up, I had big teeth. I still do. Big eyes, big head. And my father used to say, these are the things they're going to tease you about. So I'm going to tease you about it here. And I want you to cry and get it out right here. Because when you walk out that door, they're not telling you anything that you haven't already heard. So it won't offend you. You won't have the deer in the headlight look like, oh my God, you won't cry in the face of adversity. You will just embrace it. Like, that's all you got. That's all you got. I mean, I have done all these amazing things, won all these awards, traveled all over the country, all outside of the country, and you are still talking about my ex-husband who has moved on. And so,
that's right.
So with that, I beat people to the punch with what they could punch me with. So it's never exciting news. It's never like, oh man, I know something about her or whatever. I challenge that because I'm transparent. I'm gonna show you my credit score when it was in the 5s.
That's
so
right.
That when you see it in the 7s, you're not thinking, oh, she thinks she better than it. No. Because I was right here in the 5s, almost in the 4s. It went so low one time, I didn't even know it could go that low. It looked like
talk to us now.
It looked like a highway in Florida. You understand?
That's right.
But I'm going to show you that, yes, through discipline, through consistency, this is where it is. And that's the part that people don't want to pick up on. They don't want to see that part. They want you to tell them how you did it, but they don't want to do what you've done to get there.
Absolutely.
And I apologize for that. I do not apologize for that.
Yeah. No, and there's no apologies needed because we don't need validation from people.
Mhm.
My saying with validation is for parking. It is not for
Yes.
Martha nor Tia. Okay. You said a whole lot. One of the things that I live by is that
Mhm.
an even exchange is never robbery. And
Right.
if in friendships, in relationships, in business, if you are not reciprocating
Mhm.
what I am doing with you, to you, through you, and you're not doing the same, because I know now everybody's not on a 50-50. Everybody's not going to give equal,
Right.
because sometimes people they have good days, they have bad days. And so they can't
Mhm.
give, they are giving you what they can at that moment. But I always
Right.
tell people, and even exchange isn't robbery. And I thank God that you have a supportive spouse in where you
Mhm.
are in this season. Because people ask me all the time, Martha, how are you able to? My husband
Mm.
never tried to clip my wings. He always
Right.
encouraged me to spread those wings. Listen, I tell
Mhm.
people all the time, Mike know why he married Martha. Because one, he knew if somebody jumped him from the back, Martha was going to jump them from the back. That was
That's
the first
right.
thing. Don't get it
That's
twisted.
right.
Don't let the heels, the hair, the articulation, the education fool you. I am still from the city that takes no pity. And so when it comes down to my family and riding and dying for the people that I love, that
I love
is who
it.
I am. You know, but you said something that a lot of women
Mhm.
suffer from and have been through, including myself.
Mhm.
Friendships that were
Mhm.
truly not friendships. That when you decided to live your dream and walk in your dreams, that
Mhm.
people became jealous,
Mhm.
they became envious, they started to talk about you behind your back. They stopped supporting you because,
Mhm.
see, at that point in time, you realized and recognized what they had already seen in you. And they were like, wait a minute, I can't push this initiative forward because if I
Right.
do, she's going to continue to propel and traject forwardly. That is why I tell women all the time, lighting another woman's candle
Mhm.
doesn't do anything to your light but keep it shining even brighter. Because
Right.
when you can light another woman's candle and support what she is doing, that allows your light to continue to be birthed on this planet. And I know that that is how Women of Greatness started. That is how
Mhm.
Rediscover Her started. That is who Martha Cooper-Hudson is and is about.
Mhm.
Creating atmospheres that are non-competitive with
Right.
some career driven, high achieving, entrepreneurial minded. And I'll keep saying it until you
Mhm.
understand that we are GAWs. You are standing in your truth, but you understood that you deserve better on this planet.
Right. Right.
And so I thank you for sharing that information and sharing those parts because it is. It is true. And we don't have a roadmap to business.
Right.
And we have mentors. We see people, but most of the time, Tia, people who are in business, sometimes they don't really share with you how they got there. What do you
Right.
need to do to get there? But for us, I think by default, I will throw up all over you when you
Mhm.
ask me, how did you or how can I? Honey, I'm like, get a pen, get a piece of
Right.
paper. Let's take these notes because now I'm not going to be able to go back and tell you what I said. I'm just going to give it to you now. Go ahead and write these things down
Absolutely.
because I want everyone to win
Mhm.
and to
Mhm.
succeed. And, sometimes as a financial advisor and a wealth manager, now I understand being at the table and I'm the only one, you know,
Mhm.
and I laugh because I bring all of Martha, everybody's in gray, they in black. Martha busts up in yellow. She's in orange. She's in blue, because somebody got to be the sunshine in that space, right? And I know I'm the
Absolutely.
only one there. And but you said something that your dad, we all have attributes that
Mhm.
they were really our strengths.
Right.
You know, I I'm a very deep, my voice is deep. I tell my husband all the time. In the mornings, he's like, "Hey, Barry." I say, "Hey, baby," because that voice is deep, right? But when I was younger and growing up, I used to get teased about that all the
Mhm.
time. "You sound like a man." I say, "But I'm all woman. I'm all
Right.
girl. Your voice is so deep." Not knowing that God was creating this voice to be a powerhouse. Because you give me
Mhm.
a microphone, I will command a room without even having to try, because I understand that that is a gift that God has blessed me with. That noggin, my head. My husband teased me. Even when I think that's why it took me so long to chop off all of my hair I had, because having
Right.
long hair covered my big head, right?
Mhm.
But at 50, I said, I'm going to cut this stuff off. I'm going to chop it. I'm going to do something new because I'm turning 50 and I want a new relief. 50 came, 51 came, 52 came. And to 52 and a half, I said, you know what? Wait a minute. Let me get up and let me do it, because I was still holding on to the fact that I had a big head, which I do.
Mhm.
But honey, when I tell you I love my flyness, I love
Yes.
my short hair. I embrace that big head, because I tell people my head needed to be big for all the knowledge, the gifts, and the businesses that God had birthed and
Yeah.
was birthing inside of me, so that I can
Mhm.
think about the solutions and the ways to implement the very things that He gave me. So
Absolutely.
I thank you in that for being, because people are, and they try to find your flaws instead
Right.
of looking at the amazing things that you have done,
Mhm.
the things that you are doing, the scholarships that you
Mhm.
gave through your brunch, your annual brunch that I
Right.
was blessed to be a speaker at one year. The ability for you to impact and be a role model for those brown and black young women who are walking through this earth and this planet saying, "Wow, she did it. So
Mhm.
I can too." And to hear the story, to know that you were not born and raised with a silver spoon in your mouth, because my
No,
God,
absolutely
my
not.
spoon was plastic. Okay.
You had a spoon.
Listen, not every day, not every day. But and
Yes.
so I share with people, being able to share that part of who we are. When I talk
Mhm.
to the little brown girls who are in a single parent household, who
Mhm.
who have no idea who their father was, or who may have known who their father was, but their father didn't claim them, and then they hear my story and they're like, "Wow, you understand." I do. But what I do know, and what I know and I understand, and what I held on to all my life, was that irregardless of where I was, I didn't have to stay there. That
Right.
I made a decision to do better,
That's
to
right.
educate myself, to start businesses and fail, to get married without anyone in my life having a successful marriage. And then
Right.
October 23rd, 2024 will be 25 years this
Ooh.
matrimony. Having children in which I made sure, because see, my dreams wasn't supported. I was
Mhm.
told what I needed to do and be.
That's
And to
right.
have children, and for me to support them 100% of the way. And I like to tell them all the time that, in this season at 54, now don't get it twisted, I am your mama. And I
Mhm.
will I will put on my mama hat in a quick second. But to know that I am doing life with my two adult children, are
Yes.
and they still think I'm cool. They still think I'm fly every now and again. They're trying to get their daddy to catch up, but they know their mama is fly.
Mhm.
But to be able to do that with them is amazing. But to also have them look at me, they don't have to go out their house to find role models.
Right.
They see it
Right.
right there in this house. And so when we start to think about this, we want to make sure that we are continuously being role models to the very people who are looking, because they are single women, like you said, who think that they
Mhm.
can't love again. who think that men are not going to love them because they come with 2 children, to think that they have dreams that they have to keep inside of them because no one else is going to support them. You have just shared with them that that is a lie from the pits of hell from which it came. But they too can succeed in this space.
Mm-hmm.
You saw, you fly, so I'm gonna tell you why. You're possible, I'm possible. On the Martha Cooper-Hudson show. Empowered, motivated, get it out and create it. Cause you're possible, I'm possible. On the Martha Cooper-Hudson show. You saw, you fly, so I'm gonna tell you why. You're possible, I'm possible. On the Martha Cooper-Hudson show. Empowered, motivated, get it out and create it. Cause you're possible, I'm possible. On the Martha Cooper-Hudson show.